What is this hieroglyph and how is it used in Egyptian pharaohs' names? That's what we'll learn about today. So what is this hieroglyph? It's actually a picture of a bead collar or necklace. And as you might expect, it can be used as a determinative in words related to the idea of jewelry, especially and specifically in words for precious metals. It can also be used for its sound values, though. These are N, B, W, and we pronounce this today as Nebu, and can be used in a variety of words. However, the most common places you'll see it used are in words related to gold. It can even be a logogram, that is the whole word, for the word gold all by itself. Or it can also be used when it's spelled out more fully. Some also suggest that this word is the origin of the name for Nubia. This is the land to the south of ancient Egypt. This name came into use during the Roman period and designated this land immediately to the south of Egypt. And it might derive from this Egyptian word for gold, which is Nebu or Nub. Because Nubia was the location of gold mines that Egypt had exploited over time, this would definitely make some sense, although there are some competing ideas about where the name comes from. For our context today, though, of kings' names, this sign is also used for the word gold with one of the king's names. It's used in the fourth name of the king that we will talk about today. We've already talked about 3 others in this series. And we often call this the gold falcon or Horus of gold name because it features both the Horus falcon that we saw in the last video and then also the sign for gold with the falcon on top of it. And this introduces this particular name of the king. In ancient Egyptian, they actually called this name Ren-en-Nebu, meaning name of gold. Now, like the Horus name that we learned about in the last video, this name identifies the king with the god of kingship, Horus, and also shows that he is the living Horus on earth. So let's take a look at an example of where this is used on an ancient monument. But first, if you're enjoying this series, I want to let you know that the king's names and titles like these are just a small part of what's going into my new course, SCRIBAL School. SCRIBAL School will take you from knowing nothing or very little about Egyptian to reading the most common texts that you'll see in museums, online, or on a trip to Egypt. Now, doors are now open, but only for a few days as of when this video is being published. Still, you'll want to head over to scribalschool.com to get all the details and claim your spot. Now back to that example. On the fallen obelisk of Hatshepsut at Karnak, we can see all of the names of this female king. But let's take a closer look specifically at her Horus of gold name. It is, of course, introduced by the hieroglyphs for Horus and for gold, which are then followed by her name here, Sa'ankh-Ibu. Now this is the 4th type of king's name we've seen so far, but there still is one more, which also appears on Hatshepsut's obelisk here as well. And that's what we'll learn about in the next video. See you there.